Welcome to The Explainer. Every year the world's most powerful people get together in Davos to talk about, well, whatever's on the global agenda. But this year was completely different.
Yeah, forget everything you thought you knew about Davos. Geopolitics, economics, nope. This year, one topic didn't just dominate the conversation, it literally was the entire conversation. We're talking about artificial intelligence. And get this, the leaders of the world, they weren't there to give speeches. They were there to sit down and listen to the people who are actually building this new future.
And what came out of all that talk? Well, it was a choice. A massive, fundamental choice. It's like humanity is standing at a crossroads, looking down two completely different paths. On one side, you've got this bright, optimistic, kind of Star Trek-style solarpunk future. And on the other, a darker, grittier, more Blade Runner-esque cyberpunk reality. It's a huge decision.
Okay, so let's get into it. What is this AI tsunami everyone's talking about? What's this massive wave that's forcing us to make this choice in the first place? Well, for starters, the sheer economic scale of what's happening is, honestly, it's hard to even wrap your head around. All right, to really get the stakes here, let's look at a number. Dario Amodei, he's the CEO of Anthropic. He basically laid it all out. He said, look at the global labor market. Every single year, it's worth a staggering $50 trillion. Okay, now stick with me here. He then posed a question, a pretty conservative one at that. What if AI could come in and capture just 10% of all that value, just a tiny slice of that massive pie? You do the math. That's a $5 trillion a year industry, out of nowhere. Like he said, that's something we haven't seen in the history of the world. So let's be clear, this isn't just another tech boom. This is a complete and total rewiring of the entire global economy. And if you want to picture what that looks like in the real world, just listen to Jensen Huang, the CEO of NVIDIA. He's not talking about software, he's talking about concrete and steel. He said we're in the middle of building trillions of dollars worth of new factories for chips, for computers, for AI. He called it the largest infrastructure project in the entire history of humanity. Think about that for a second. So when you have an economic tsunami this big, it's going to create some major fault lines. And right now, the biggest crack is opening up between the two global superpowers, the US and China. Now, check this out, because this isn't about chips or code. This is about what people think. It's a psychological battlefield. A Stanford survey found this massive gap in how people feel about AI. In China, a whopping 83% of people are optimistic. But in the US, only 39%. That difference in mindset, well, that could end up being a huge strategic advantage. The investor David Sachs put it pretty simply. He said, right now, the US has the lead when it comes to the best AI models and the best chips. But China is building the power plants needed to run all this stuff way, way faster. And on top of that, they have that incredible public optimism driving them forward. It's a real clash of strengths. And just when you think you have a handle on who's ahead, the CEO of Mistral, that's a huge European AI company, he just drops this bombshell. He says the idea that the West is ahead of China, that's a fairy tale, a dangerous one. So yeah, this race is absolutely neck and neck, and it is far from over. Okay, so let's talk blueprints. How is this new world actually getting built? Because we're not just talking about writing code here. We're talking about pouring concrete, generating power, and laying the financial tracks for everything. And right away, you see those two futures, cyberpunk and solarpunk, clash over energy. The CEO of Honeywell basically made the pragmatic case. You need gas. He said renewables just don't pack the punch you need for things like steel and cement. But then you have Elon Musk on the other side painting this incredible picture of a future powered by massive solar farms. And what was the big, mind-blowing idea that came out of this? The ultimate solarpunk vision? A new Manhattan project, but instead of building weapons, we'd be building for abundance. The idea is to literally move our data centers with their insane energy demands into space and power them directly with the sun. It sounds like science fiction, but they're talking about it now. You see the exact same split when it comes to money. The big crypto guys from places like Binance and Circle, they're arguing that AI agents are going to need their own money, crypto, to operate at the speed of light. But the traditional finance world pushed back, basically saying, hold on, why can't we just build that? Why can't our existing banking system just adapt? Okay, but let's be real. The most important debate at Davos wasn't about energy or money. It was about something much deeper. It was about the character, you could even say the soul of the new intelligence we're bringing into the world. So the conversation has totally shifted. Nobody is asking if we're going to create artificial general intelligence anymore. The only question now is when. And the consensus among the top minds in the field, people like Demis Hassabis at DeepMind and Dario Amodi, has suddenly shrunk to this tiny window. They're saying AGI is coming in the next 1 to 10 years. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, that's basically tomorrow. And this insane speed is what led Demis Hassabis to say something pretty remarkable. He basically hit the brakes and said, hey, maybe we should slow down a little bit so that we can actually get this right. Because for him, getting it right isn't just about avoiding disaster. It's about unlocking humanity's greatest dreams, like using this new intelligence to finally explore the stars. So how do we get it right? Well, Anthropic came forward with a really wild idea. Instead of just programming their AI Claude with a strict set of rules, they're having Claude help write its own ethical constitution. It's a bit like sitting down with your kid and figuring out the family rules together. The AI isn't just being told what's right, it's learning how to be good by being part of the process.
And this brings us to the absolute heart of the matter. This is the choice. The cyberpunk future is all about control. It's about trying to regulate and lock down a superintelligence. But the solarpunk future? That's about collaboration. It's about teaching it, guiding it. It's the difference between trying to put an AI in a box and, well, raising it right.
So that's where we are. The blueprints for two completely different futures were laid out at Davos. The AI tsunami is already here. The infrastructure is being built, and the ethical bedrock is being poured right now as we speak. This isn't some far-off theoretical question anymore. This is the project of our generation. And the world we find ourselves in 10 years from now, it all comes down to the choices we're making today. Which world are we going to build?